Morning, Lex, and thanks very much for joining us on Blue Notes. You've recently confirmed the transfer of ANZ's superannuation and investment business to IWF, and last year completed the sale of the life insurance business to Zurich. You said ANZ is not getting out of wealth, but this does look very much like ANZ is getting out of wealth.
Andrew, I've heard that comment before, but I think we've been pretty consistent about why we're going through this process. You know, as we move into this new world where there's disruption, data is important, digital is important, we really needed to focus our investment as a group. So we decided that we were not the best owners for the life insurance business, for the superannuation and investments business, but that we wanted to partner with people who would be able to invest in those and really face into the disruption that as an industry we have to cope with. And so that was the reason. We will continue to offer these solutions through the group by utilising those skills of the partners. And I want to remind you that we still have our salaried financial planners here. Yes, we've changed models, etc., but they're still in the bank offering those services to our customers.
So to all intents and purposes, customers are still ANZ customers. So I suppose the question is, how do you ensure that the wealth products and the services those customers getting are of the standard that you would want, and ensuring that the engagement with essentially ANZ's customers remains at the standard you want?
Yeah, and that was always important to us as a group. So as you would expect, we've got monitoring processes in place to make sure those partners do adhere to the standards we would expect for our customers. And that's from not just a service perspective, but also from a proposition perspective. So we want to make sure they're competitive in terms of the terms and conditions, but also in terms of the offering. So we have a dedicated team now that sits in our retail and commercial area that is monitoring those partners, making sure they deliver to our standards that we've agreed with them, and making sure they have competitive solutions all the time.
And there has been delays to this process and various iterations. There always is in complex transactions, but in particular with this one and with IWF, following the Royal Commission, there is regulatory involvement. Things were put on the back burner for a little bit, but now it's all been approved and come through. But how can you be sure that IWF is an appropriate partner for your customers?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, there has been some delays in this transition, and we've been fairly open about that, and especially with the IWF completion which occurred on 31 January. You know, as a result of some of the attention on that partner, the trustee board, who is occupied by a very professional group of people, really needed to put in place some additional checks and balances to make sure that this transition was in the best interest of the members. And so we did quite a lot more work together with IWF to ensure that that occurred and that they could satisfy themselves that the transition was in the best interest of the members. On top of that, you'd be well aware that APRA also was looking at IWF, and there are a number of changes that were put in place as a result of those findings. So, you know, it's been a long process. It has taken us a bit longer, but I think it was the right thing to do for the members.
And if we step to a different perspective, you're Deputy CEO of ANZ, but you're also the head of the wealth business. From the ANZ perspective, now that these transactions are complete, does ANZ still actually have a wealth business in the bank?
Well, of course, we're not going to be responsible for product manufacturing or, you know, determining what solutions should be in market. But I think we've got to remember that for the next 2 years, we are still providing many of those operational services and processing because we need to go through a separation process from ANZ. So I'm really focused on making sure we do that well, that we look after the people and customers during that period of time. So, you know, yes, there's a lot of hard work to be done, and a lot of hard work has been done, and I'm personally committed to making sure that happens. And of course, we'll continue to get involved with the rest of the bank activities.
Well, thanks very much for speaking with Blue Notes again, Lex. Good luck with the transition.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And, you know, I want to thank everyone for the hard work, and certainly some to go.